What's going on, everybody? This is Victoria, your credit solutionist, owner of PX Credit Solutions, where we help you secure your financial future today. We're starting off a little late, but thank you to those of you that came in, maybe dropped off, but come on back, all right? And give us a like when you come on in. On this episode, I've been checking out the news. There's a lot of mess going on out here in the streets, y'all. There's a lot of mess that's going on out here in the streets. And listen, y'all, we have quiet promotion that is on the radar tonight. It sounds like it's something new, but it is not. All right. Now, when I saw this come across my screen, I had to bring on the number one expert, our resident career correspondent, your dream career coach. Y'all ready? Drum roll, please. Mentor Shelly.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, girl. Hey. Okay. I was having technical difficulties a little bit. I thought I was prepared, but I guess I wasn't. So audio was going all over the place, girl. Anyway, how you doing, girlfriend?
I am wonderful. I'm on location tonight, so the setup is a little different, but I'm here for y'all with all these wonderful shenanigans going on in the economy, going on in the employment market with some of these employers and some of these TikTok folks renaming everything but the child of God when it comes to careers and employment spaces. So I'm ready to talk about it.
Yes. Okay. Now, you were the first person that I thought about when I saw this, because when I read the article about quiet promotion, it completely blew my mind. And I knew that you were the person I needed to talk to because, number one, I have totally been quiet promoted before, okay, in a past life, and I know that there are some people that can totally relate to this.
Mhm.
So, I want to get to the nitty-gritty about what this is, and then we're going to have a dialogue about it, okay? And guys, again, as you're coming in, be sure to like the stream, and if you care, let us know where you're from so we know where to actually send this content out to. Oh,
Yes.
and guys, we have a new name of the show. This is the Solutionist Experience, all right? Every time we come on live, it's
That's
an
right.
experience, baby. So, yes, join, all right? Come along for the ride.
That's
Now,
right.
I'm going to explain what this actually is. So there's a lot of employers out there right now that are doing something kind of interesting. A lot of people are getting fired, laid off, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are leaving the workforce. We know there's 7 million men that aren't working right now, supposedly. Um, now, as they're leaving, somebody has to pick up the slack.
Right.
So, what employers are taking to doing right now is having their good, nice employees that, come to work every day, never call out sick, never take vacation. They're
Mhm.
giving them the brunt of all of the work. They're actually giving them more work to do, some with the promise of promotion and some just so they can be a team player. So, my question for you is,
Mhm.
because now there's a new term for it, it's called quiet promotion, because nobody else knows about it except you and the supervisor, technically. Is this something new, Mentor Shelly, or what's the deal with what I just said?
When I tell you, when I tell you they take common sense terms and put a new spin on it, the quiet quitting, the quiet firing.
Why is everything so quiet? That's my main question. Why is everything so damn quiet?
Your guess
Seriously.
is as good as mine. When it comes to all of this stuff, a lot of these things existed in the workplace, but what tends to happen is this: because we are in the TikTok Gen Z generation, they're now becoming responsible or supposedly responsible adults.
Mhm.
And they're now becoming a part of the economic network of working these jobs, whether it be part-time jobs, whether it be you're entering into the career space. And a lot of what's happening in the career space and their first interaction with being passed over for promotion, or they're experiencing the quiet firing, which is what they mean, the quiet firing, which is really just an employer pushing you out without actually firing you.
Mhm.
That's been happening. The quiet quitting, which is really just people coasting, which people have done for eons. And now the new term, because I haven't gotten what's the new term now? Because I know.
This is quiet promotion. This is when they pull you in the office, they ask you to do more work. It's between you and them, and some of it is with the promise of a future promotion.
Do you see my face? There's
So
a
that's
lot
my
of
question.
time.
Are we bull crap or what's going on? Are they selling us a bill of goods just to get more?
Let me put it to you this way. 10, 15, darn near 20 years ago.
Mhm.
There was a trend going on with a lot of employers looking to save money. And there was this trend happening in the early 2000s
Mhm.
where they thought it was a great idea to export American jobs over to other countries.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say the countries, because actually, where I was working, they actually had those folks that were going to start training people overseas to do some of the jobs that I was currently doing. And that was indicator number one for me to move departments, of course, which I did. Because I don't want to be a part of a department where I'm teaching somebody else how to do my job, so I know will no longer have one.
But Shelly, you're supposed to be a team player. Excuse me. Excuse you. Excuse you. What
Well,
happened to being a team player? What happened to that?
you have to play on team. I got to put money in my pocket first. I am always, and you guys know this. If you haven't heard this out of my mouth on my own channel, Mentor Shelly, you will hear this whenever I am having a conversation with the solutionist experience. You are in the business of you 1st,
Mm-hmm.
because what is your loyalty is not to the employer. The loyalty is to your own bank account. Because if it ain't got nothing in it, you can't handle your responsibilities. So whatever way you're getting your money, you get your money.
Mm-hmm.
The job is what's providing that economic stimulus to your bank account. Then do what is necessary to make sure that you're doing that. Now, this quiet promotion, a lot of times those things go left because there may be a supervisor that might be promising all these things that they really cannot deliver, and they're doing it so they can get the work done and look good for their superiors. And it's a tactic that they've been using that tactic for years. I use the example of in the early 2000s, they were encouraging people to teach these folks the very job that they had, and a year or two later, they ended up having to pull all those jobs back to the U.S. because everything went awry. The problem with all of that is they think that by importing or exporting those jobs, that, oh, we can pay half, quarter, 10 cents on the dollar
Mm-hmm.
for labor overseas, which you can, but you also get what you pay for.
This is true. And it's so interesting that you say that, though, because I was looking up a couple of articles not too long ago talking about, I believe it was Amazon in particular and some Google. They have actually, okay, here's the thing. They've been laying off quite a few people. We know that. But
Mhm.
what I think they failed to mention, and you don't see it unless you dig a little bit deeper, a
Mhm.
lot of these companies, the portion of the employees that they're firing and laying off are actually overseas employees. They're not even on a visa. Like they're literally working at the Amazon hub in their country or wherever they are, right? So
Mhm.
these jobs have totally been outsourced. That's not a question about outsourcing. That's definitely been done right under our noses. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
Right.
My question here is, it seems like it's a bit of a mind trick right now, because if I were at a job where maybe we lost maybe 50% of the workforce, right? I like my boss. I like the coworkers that are left, right? They got rid of all the hard heads. I like what I'm doing. I can see a future in this company, and my boss looks like they might keel over any day now. Should I not take the supervisor or the HR professional or whoever comes to me and offers me the potential promotion? Should I not take them seriously? Because if I walk into work every day and it's looking a little slim, I mean, I have to protect myself as well, right? So wouldn't it be in my best interest to maybe take on a little bit more to show them that I am actually a valuable member of the team? Like, what say you about that?
Within reason.
Okay.
I
Do
have
tell.
no problem with you taking on more as long as you have a plan B, because you could be taking on more and it kind of backfires. Um, you could be taking on more, and yes, you like them, and yes, the environment looks one way,
Hmm.
but any kind of decision can be made adversely behind closed doors because those decisions are above your pay grade.
Hmm.
I'm always of the mindset, yes, take advantage of opportunities. I'm not sitting up here saying turn away money.
Hmm.
Because if they say, oh, we're going to do this, and um, that's also a good time. If they're asking you to do extra work, um, so I get that we're short staffed, and I understand that this and this, and I have no problem with helping. Will there be some additional compensation that can be discussed? That's the time to bring it up. They want you. They want more work out of you.
Okay, so you know that, of course, I am a solutionist and I do deal with numbers quite a bit in my day to day just life, right? And here is what I came up with. So I know that there are a lot of employers that, again, they need extra help, right? We got Chipotle out here about to hire like 15,000 people. They say they're going to hire these tech people that got laid off, but we'll see about that. But here is what I came up with. I know that it's always good to be a team player. Yes,
Right.
I've been a team player in the past and completely got blindsided by not getting the position. But here is, and just let me know, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking out loud here. Let's say I make $50,000 a year, which is that's affordable living in no city in America. But let's say I make $50,000 a year. They're asking me to take on, let's just say, the tasks of the next higher up, say an assistant manager, or something like that. Would it not stand to reason that if I do take on those responsibilities, but my pay stays at 50,000, did I not just effectively give myself a pay decrease?
Yeah, because you're doing more work for the same amount of money.
I thought about it the other day and I thought I was being pessimistic. And I said, wait, the math isn't mathing because if I
No.
work extra, but you're not paying me more, my title stays the same. This was a secret conversation to begin with. I just got demoted and I feel like I'm having an affair now. I feel like I'm the mistress. That's what it is. I'm
Look,
just the
first of
mistress.
all, if they're asking you to go into a leadership role, that is going to.
Leadership adjacent. I got to use the corporate speak because the people need to know how they're going to BS you. Just so, let me just pause real quick. Just so you guys are clear on why we're having this conversation. Mentor Shelly is a dream career coach. Okay. She will literally tell you how to cut through the jargon and literally cut through it like a hot knife in butter, right? Because
Exactly.
they will use code words to try to get you to stay, to try to get you. They're going to coerce you. Okay. Meanwhile, it's bending you over with no Vaseline. We're probably going to get demonetized for that. But
Which
anyway,
is why I always tell you guys.
sneaky Lincoln. See, Big Daddy knows. Go ahead, girl. Keep talking.
You try to do sneaky link and don't have to.
He knows what's up. Hold on. He needs more shine. Let me. It's not even making a big. Hold on.
if they're saying to you they want you to take on more responsibility, listen, no romance without finance. I'm sorry. You can have secret meetings all day long. Where's the money? You want me to stay here extra? Because, okay, for example, there's a need, right? There was a need that was presented in my current position. I'm not going to say where and not going to say in what, but
Of course not. Mm-hmm.
it's still in human resources. And I said, well, I have no problem with helping with those duties. That is going to take a little bit more of the time. However, let's just discuss how the compensation is going to work with that too. Oh, I didn't mince words. I did not hesitate. Do you know why? Because if you want more out of me, y'all, I'm right here. Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You see them big old eyes I got open? I'm open wide for a reason. Stay open wide for a reason. If you are going to do more work, okay? I got Nigeria for a second. If you're going to do more work, they need to pay you more money. Period.
Got you. Got you. Now, is there a tactful way that we can do this? Because we don't want to
I
appear
just
as
gave
though,
it to you.
well, because the thing is, you gotta sometimes you do have to watch how you say things because you don't want to,
Okay. All right. All right. Let's do a role play right on the spot.
because
Okay.
yeah,
I
because
am
depending
no, I
on,
am I'm the manager asking you the employee because the supervisor just got fired or terminated or whatever. And I'm gonna ask you, listen, solutionist. You're beautiful solutionist. How you doing? Let's have a seat. Close the door. Let's have a conversation.
I'd like to leave the door cracked open. Thank you.
Girl, you
Girl, I'll be like that. They think I'm so strange. I'm like that. I'd like to leave the door open if that's okay.
no,
Air.
this
I need
no,
air.
this is actually a private conversation. I don't necessarily want everybody privy to. And if you're uncomfortable with that, we can go into the conference room. If that's fine, if that's okay.
See, I can't fix my face. They would already be like, go back to your cubicle. Bye. I swear. When I had my corporate job, they would always tell me my face. They would say, we know what's on your mind. Good luck trying to hide it.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead, girl. I'm sorry.
You don't even have the poker face. Let's do this role play real quick. And okay. Yes, we understand. As you know, sister so and so just was terminated, and we are definitely in need of. You worked with her very closely on XYZ projects, and you worked with her in this particular capacity and that particular capacity. We are considering right sizing her position, and maybe just splitting up some of her duties amongst who's already here. And the first person we considered was you because you did work with her so much. And it would be so valuable to us if you could definitely help us out in that area. Or is that something that you'd be open to?
I would most certainly be open to that. Would this by chance put me on the path to promotion, or is there any additional compensation for taking on additional job roles that are above my pay grade? I wouldn't say pay grade, I'd find a better word. But
Okay. Definitely would definitely be a good this will definitely help with, when we're looking to promote from within. This is definitely a great track to follow. And as far as compensation is concerned, let me run that by the management team or run that by our executives, because you are going to be taking on additional responsibilities. So let me run that by them to see how much we would be, consider as far as compensation. Because if we are asking you for more, it's only fair for us to pay you more for that. Now, that's me being fair. Okay.
that's totally not how that would have gone, because I've been in those conversations before, and it's, hey, other duties as assigned. Go back to your desk. See you tomorrow.
Ma'am, those are and those
We
are
have to have real world
no.
scenarios. If that's kicked back, what would you do?
That's why I said I'm gonna tell you that I had a conversation similar to that, and that was the response I got. Yeah, because I was able to help, and I have the rapport with that particular leader, and that particular leader is actually fair. I'm very grateful, because when I tell you, most of the time it would be, well, this is other duties as assigned, so you can take it or leave it. That's usually the response. But not all leaders are a-holes. Not all leaders are so nose to the grindstone that they're not willing to actually even consider, or at least have the conversation. But if you don't ask, sometimes you ask, you want not because you ask not, you better ask for your money. Okay. There's also times where you're in salary negotiation mode and you're in interviews, and your research. This is something I actually talk about, or this is something I actually teach folks whenever I'm doing salary negotiation consultations. Um, it's always it's always to your benefit to know what the salary range is for the position you're going for. Here's why. When they say, "Oh, we're offering two," I'm just using these two, but the range is between 3 and 5. Your response back to them is, I understand that you are offering two. However, for based on number one, you have to have notes from when you had the interview, based on my blah 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 experience that I come with, based on the industry trend for the state and for the county and for the city. Yes, you did your research. You got to come at them that way. Based on this, based on what this and this and this says, not just you getting my experience, but the statistics in this area says this is what you pay. It would be more advantageous for me to consider this opportunity if it was more within this specific range. Ask not. If you don't ask, they won't be able to say yes or no. But you gotta ask. And even if they may not be able to respond with yes, we can give you that as a rate, they may be able to give it to you as a bonus. As a sign.
Okay. So how about this? I hear what you're saying. Now I want to counter that because I just came across something. I'm glad you touched on that the other day, because we know that companies are notorious for not sharing wage transparency. So let's see if they'll let us look at it, y'all, because they be hating sometimes, and I'm not going to become a subscriber of CNBC. They got me on YouTube, and that's all I'm doing. All right. So making salary ranges public may shrink pay gaps, but slow wage growth. So this is a very real concern that some people may have. Now, I know you said something about looking at in the area and the pay and all that good stuff. Now, here's my question, though. Let's say that I'm used to California wages. I moved to where I am now, Virginia. Virginia's pay is crap. You know, God bless the Commonwealth, but the pay here is crap. So if I didn't move here with my California sensibilities, I would really lowball myself in a lot of ways here. So if they are this anyway, what this article talks about is if we are doing the salary transparency thing, they're going to tell you how much it is. They're going to, give us all this information. Let's say I am a worker, a blue collar worker, a white collar worker. We'll say white collar worker because they're the ones that want the most money, right? To do a lot of, well, anyway. So let's just say that I'm in an area where, the pay may be this, but what if it's for Alexandria, Virginia, not where I live right now? Do I have the right to then, request that there's some salary transparency there? They tell me what the pay is. And then do I have the right to negotiate Alexandria wages for that same position if I live 300 miles south of Alexandria? Is that even possible? Could there be an issue there?
What you want to do is use the average. And you can mention, you don't necessarily have to mention it by name, neighboring cities offer. You can use that. Or you can mention or pick out maybe 4 or 5 cities if you really want to get that extensive. And as long as they pay them more than what they're offering, you can use that as an example. At the end of the day, it's how you frame it, one, and two, you also want to match your experience with that. You also want to match, listen, as I always tell you guys, the only difference between a person that has a regular 9-to-5 job and a business person is that the person with the job only has one client. So, for that one client, here's what I have to offer you. You gonna bite or not? This is what they're doing. They said, well, we're offering you this job at this rate. Do you accept it or do you counter? A lot of
I would always
done that way.
I would always counter because this is how I see it. And I want people to understand, though I am not the career professional here, I do know a thing or two about negotiating what my rates are, because as some people will know, I just raised all of my rates for PX Credit Solutions. We just about doubled everything. So if you want to come and talk to me, You want to pull me, off the internet. You came and found me for free on YouTube. You plucked me off. Guess what? If you want to talk to me for an hour, there's a charge for that. Okay. It's not going to be what it was a month ago. The price is the price. Okay. What is it that they say? Today's price is not yesterday's price. So I'm
Today's
okay.
price is not tomorrow's price either.
Yes, and I'm okay with that. And I don't have any qualms about that. So
Right.
I think it's really good for a lot of people to get familiarize yourself with negotiating for what you think you're worth.
Yeah.
Some of it is the market, yes, but the on the other side of that, now that I do have a small business, my thing is this: an employer is going to pay you a mere portion of what they can truly afford. A lot of people tend to go into these negotiations without enough um, they're not skilled in it. Two, they haven't talked to a professional like you to actually get the job done. They haven't been trained on it, and they really just take the job for whatever they offer. Some people even feel guilty countering, which I think is ridiculous. So if I am in that spot, you know, well, I guess this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to give some advice here. Remember, your employer has already done a budget. Your employer has already looked at all the labor laws. They have, balanced the books. They've looked at the cost of doing business. You're part of the cost of doing business, right? Your salary is a part of that. So, whatever they offer you, you could probably get paid. Let's not be too crazy here, but you could probably at least get double whatever it is that they're offering, if not a third more. So why not request that? Because my thing is they have the money to do it.
Um,
That's how I see it. So like I
being
said, I could, that's why you're here.
being being on the other side of that, you
Mm-hmm.
can also price yourself out of the job too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe that particular opportunity is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say double, but I probably would say, because I've had conversations with recruiters,
My screen keeps
with
going out.
recruiters, with sourcers, with talent acquisition specialists that
Mm-hmm.
literally have a budget for 120,000, and people, and they ask them, how much are you willing to take? And these people are saying 70, 80,000. People lowball themselves too. Unfortunately, you have to, that's why it's so important for all of you guys, whenever you are going ahead and you're interviewing for these positions, that you do your due diligence, you do your homework. So all these new terms, all these new quirky things that you're talking about, quiet quitting, quiet firing, I want to be left, right, and center, quiet this, quiet that, does not preclude you from doing your due diligence, from doing your homework to make sure your career and your economic life is at a place where it needs to be. If you're negotiating, if you're going through interviews and you're looking for new opportunities in your field of expertise, or if you're entering into a new industry, do your research. The internet is at your fingertips, folks. For crying out loud, we walk around with a computer every day called the phone. There's no excuse. There's none.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people that sell themselves short as well. That's why it's so important to do your homework. So when they come and say, oh, we have this wonderful position, blah, blah, blah for you, the first question that's being asked about salaries, what is the range that they're offering? Yeah, I'm asking that question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, and I'm thinking to myself, no, you talking to somebody that's been in this game for 20 years? What? And you want to offer me what? Um, I said, are they looking for somebody that's entry level? Because that's entry level. That's entry level rates. Yeah.
So what I think I hear you saying is when I get pulled into that office to have that conversation, I really shouldn't be giving an answer on the spot. I honestly think it's more of a, hey, let me take a day or two to reconsider this. And then I would consult with you. I honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't have that conversation on that day. So I know we did a role play, but I'm going to be honest. That's not how it would have went for me. I would have actually asked for some time to think about it because
And that's actually wise because you want to make sure you're going when you do get when they do have the conversation and sit down with you and add some
Mhm.
dollars to cents, you getting some dollars added to your cents. Okay.
And I think it's also good for people to, well, two things here. I'm going to kind of deviate a little bit here because I can see that this could be an issue with, particularly with our work from home, a work from home or our hybrid people, because they may sometimes miss out on opportunities because they're not really seen. So they may feel pressure to take on more work because of that. You know what I'm saying? Whether there's a promotion promised or not, it's the relationship changes. You know what I'm saying? And the perception of you and your work ability does change when you're not there face to face because you're not building that camaraderie and you're really not networking and maybe kissing a little butt if you have to. So that's one side of it, right? But the other side where I can see it could be a benefit is okay, if I take on this extra work, couldn't I be adding these skills to my resume and putting my resume out there for the next company if they don't offer me more pay? Would that be another
Listen,
strategy?
the that's always going to be the strategy
No
because
matter what.
I want to make sure that yeah, I'm going to do this. You say you helping them, but you're really helping yourself.
Mm.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't take it on even if there's no money involved. Just know
Hmm.
what you're doing. Just have a plan. You
So
can't
really, oh, go ahead. I'm
willy
sorry.
nilly just take. Yeah, you can't willy nilly just say yes. I will do more work for the same pay. No, ask for some money, right? Try do
Yeah, because
your
I.
best to get your money. But if it's a thing where we only need you to do this, and they pull back and say, well, we only need you to do this for 60 days, for
Mhm.
30 days, or until we hire somebody, make sure you revisit that if they're not holding up the end of the bargain, which actually happens.
So I hear you saying that we should tell them we want to table the discussion.
That could also be another option.
I think
Listen,
that's a great way to say it. Can we table this? Because I just need some time to mull it over. I need to talk to my significant other. I need to talk to whoever. Make up some people, okay? Make up some people, all right? But do not give them an answer right then and there. And I think that that is really what we were getting at.
yeah,
And I wanted to just put that out there because we feel a lot of pressure. The media says there's a lot of layoffs happening right now, so people really are in fear. And it does suck to see somebody walk out with a box. The last corporate job I had, that is what I saw. And I saw the people that got in there through nepotism, they all got laid off. So imagine me, fresh off the street, kind of. I didn't really have a place there either. So I was a little hesitant to not take on the extra responsibility. But it
but know
wasn't
what it,
until,
but know what it means. Know
well,
what
and
it
that's the
means.
thing.
Yeah,
And that's the,
you're gonna do it, but do it with a purpose. You're gonna do it.
yeah.
Do it with knowing that you can use these skills elsewhere. Do it
Hmm.
knowing, like Big Daddy's talking about here. He said, I need to update my resume. I'm thinking about my last job. The manager had me do morning huddles often, sit in on her conference calls in her place if she was out. What skills, what knowledge base did you pick up from that, Big Daddy? Because if you picked up anything that it could be utilized in another position, definitely add it to the resume.
Yeah.
That's if nothing else, if you ain't get no money, you got some skills out of it that
You're
could be
like,
used to parlay you into some more money. Because at the end of
that's
the day,
like, that's Dwight Schrute 100% from The Office. Like how Dwight used to say he was the assistant manager and they would correct him and say, no, you're the assistant to the manager or something like that. Like they would correct him like, no,
So he's
you're
the
just
assistant to the assistant?
yes, they're like, you're the assistant to the assistant, sir. Like you are not the actual assistant manager. Like stop it. You are the assistant to him or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what that is. And I remember, and I'm going to be careful because I know where I posted this live, and I remember having a job like that. And I would sit in my chair every day. Now I had my own stuff that I would do where I was like, yeah, okay, I can get through the day if I do this. But I remember doing so much at that job that I used to just sit there and wonder, why am I not getting paid more for this? Why am I being treated like a flunky? Like I'm literally doing my boss's job and everybody's telling me, they're walking by and they're like, hey, you're doing her job, right? You're doing her job, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can know that. Yes, I know that, but hey, it's a corporate job. Not too many of us in there, so it's okay. It's fine. So I think a lot of us feel pressure because of, certain social what would you call that? Like, it was right on the tip of my tongue, but it's like because of society, I felt like, okay, I'm a young Black woman. I don't have a degree, and I'm in here with all these people that got a degree. I'm lucky to actually be here, right? No, seriously, I felt like
The
that,
minds, the
no, and
mind.
it's very different. Hold on, let me plead my case here. It's very different when you are a single woman in this kind of position, because I'm not going to go in there and tell them I'm not going to do it when I have to pay my rent. I think I had just paid off my car, so that wasn't a problem. But I also want to go buy my cute dress on Friday too. I want to go to happy hour. Okay. I want to have a LinkedIn profile that says I work in a corporate office.
Listen,
I don't want to tell them no.
You listen, and I understand the social economic dynamics that can go with that will help to make or break those type of decisions. And the mindset that goes with that. Oh Lord.
You could tell that came from the spirit, girl. I was like,
yeah,
girl, I felt like I was sitting in my cubicle just now. Like
it's like the verbal diarrhea was just all over the place. Like
I didn't say names though, so if anybody knows who that was, I mean, hey. Hey.
As I would say on my channel, all names are left anonymous to protect the innocent and the guilty.
And only a hit dog hollers. So there you go. Girl. Go ahead. Continue, girl. Anyway.
Mindset is a hell of a thing. Big Daddy I guess she was running the place and didn't know she was running the place. So I'm Big Daddy.
Everybody told me that, and I thought, that's the other thing about the corporate environment, Mentor Shelly. Everybody will talk so much crap about the supervisors, but they'll kiss the supervisors' butts, and I'm like, you guys, you're all lame. I used to look at them all, and I'd be like, you guys are so fake. And I know as soon as I walk out, you're talking about me too.
Hello,
jerks.
Hello, welcome to
Give me my money.
Hello, hey, hi. Welcome to corporate. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. They want to mold you. Some of them need molding.
Precisely what she told me. She told me that. She told me the day I started that she wanted to mold me. And the person above her, which was at the tip top, she was the highest one. This is the job where I told you they didn't like me, and I knew they didn't. But I think my boss did like me though, because we had a lot in common. But oh my God, I'll never forget it. They literally told me that her job was the only job that I was going to be able to get. They said, we're not putting you in any other position. They said, we're grooming you for that specific job. So imagine going into this wonderful world thinking, oh my God, the sky is the limit. This is a multi-million-dollar nonprofit, global, by the way. And I made it to corporate. So it's not what people think this company is. This company is a multi-million-dollar, technically for-profit company. Not going to say no names. But anyway, they shell out a lot of money, especially for their HR professionals. Now, when they told me that,
we need to have a conversation offline.
Girl, don't go to because girl, honestly, I would tell you what's going on. No, they're selling all of their properties right now because they
okay.
Anyway, let me be quiet.
Pull back.
Oh my God. So anyway, they told me that this is what would happen, and I said, okay, sounds good. However, she's never leaving. So they literally wanted me to go into my 40s. Not that there's anything wrong with being over 40 to my over 40 people, but they literally, I would still be in my same position, just looking at her every day, wishing that I would
See,
get promoted.
now that is the definition of corporate slavery.
Girl.
Because they set you up for the okie the second you went in there. You realize that, right?
I think she honestly set me up for that the day she met me, because she totally told me, she was like, oh, the day I met you, I knew you were going to be in this position. Girl, that was 3 years before. Girl, 3 years before I got the position. She told me straight up, she was like, I knew it was going to be you. I was like, oh my Lord. So you guys, we're saying this to say, and I'm sharing this story because number one, it was a great job, but it ended like a nightmare. But we're saying this because you have to know what your path is before you get in there. You already have to have like a strategy for where you're going to be the next 5 years. You have to, am I going to stay here? Am I doing this as a stepping stone? Why am I doing this? Right? I didn't have that. I literally was like, oh, I'll probably just go into upper management and then take it from there. But I was in the wrong organization. There was no room for that.
Yeah.
I only had the very narrow room. And trust me, if you don't have a plan, they'll make it for you. Sorry, I'm acting like I'm the consummate professional here, but go on, dream coach. I'm just saying, people will pick your destiny for you if you don't pick it for yourself. I'm just saying. You see, I'm not there. I'm not there.
I actually have clients that I have had conversations with that literally addresses these type of things. Nobody is going to tell grown folks what to do, but if grown folks allow it, they'll tell you what to do. And because they're paying you money on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis or a monthly basis, they will tell you what to do forwards and upwards of 10, 15 years if you allow it.
Yeah. And if you don't have people to guide you.
Nobody besides you should be the definer of where and how far you go in your career path.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are in a listen to me, this is a cohesive relationship if it is thought of and managed that way. If you are working at a company, right, and you want to be promoted, you're looking for promotion, you're looking for, okay, maybe not necessarily go straight from where you are to leadership, but go to another department that maybe pays more and has more responsibility. Mm-hmm. Or do I need a certificate to move forward? Do I need leadership training to move forward? What is it that I need to go from point A to point B? What is on my plan? I said in 5 years, I wanted to go from this to that. How do I get there? What are the steps? All of those things need to be documented. This is not just, oh, I want to be a fireman when I grow up, but never put the work in, never do the proper research, never make preparation for where it is you actually want to be. We are not in Wonderland anymore. This is not the Wizard of Oz, and this is not Alice in Wonderland. If you want a specific career path, you have to cultivate it, folks. And if you need help with that, then you can definitely go to mentorshelly.com/consultation, and I can help you put one together specifically tailored to you. But nobody is going to say, okay, well, you should do this. If you're working for an organization and they want something specific from you, they'll tell you, okay, we want you to do this, 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 and this, because that is their organization at the end of the day. Are you getting what you want from them? If you're not getting what you want, then it's time to go. Until you, and time to go, meaning that you can quit. Or you can do some career cushioning. Now I'm just putting words in there.
Oh, I like that one. I'm gonna write that one down.
You know what career cushioning is?
Girl, no, I don't know that. I probably
did it
myself.
It's called looking for a job while you have one. It's called common sense.
Oh Lord, girl, that's what I was gonna
Exactly.
say. That sounds like something I already did. Or okay, so she said you could do those things, or you could go, gung ho, balls to the wall, like the American Airlines flight attendants did over at DFW. They did this a couple of days ago. This is as of the 24th. Hundreds of them were picketing outside of American Airlines main hubs because they have not gotten raises since 2019, and they've been taking on
Um,
extra job responsibilities.
the solution is experience. Could you please put us back on the screen?
Go on.
Um, they're probably not going to win that fight.
Now,
We
why
can.
would you say that? Because it's a union, right?
They may have. They may have some leverage with a collective bargaining agreement
Mhm.
negotiation. That's probably all they have to fight with. At the end of the day, you are telling an employer, I want you to pay me this. And the employer
Mhm.
says, no, I don't want to pay it.
Right.
And I'm said, I'm going to go. This is the equivalent of a public tantrum. How do tantrums normally end with parents? Who ends up who ends up with the powerful movement? Is it the child or is it the parent?
It is typically the parent. Um,
I
because I think
so
it's still up in the air, but I don't know if you remember, but I know it because I got affected by it.
okay.
Some when some people in certain industries revolt like that, it does have a ripple
Not saying
effect.
no. That's what I said. I'm not saying it can't because the nursing
Yeah.
industry is getting hit pretty hard right now, and that actually needs to be in the favor of the nurses because the medical industry will absolutely suffer if they don't do something about the nursing shortage and what's going on in that sector of the world, which is something I also will be revisiting in the next couple of weeks because a
Yeah.
lot is going on there and a lot of frauds going on and the whole 9 yards. That is going to affect us in ways that we don't even want to imagine, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
However, because that's tied to people's health. But the picketing, the signs, and the protesting, a lot of times the employee is not the one that wins. The employee is not the one that has the upper hand in the situation. So here's how you have
Mhm.
your upper hand as an employee. You look for better opportunities where these type of issues are not an issue.
Mhm.
You find a better employer or you become a better employer. Like, because in essence, the people that make the decisions at management and senior management level is why they're at this impasse now. They said, no, we don't want to do it. And if they don't want to come to a collective bargaining agreement, a lot of those unions only just collect money. They don't really do anything for the employees. There's a few that actually do because we've had conversations about that before. But in more ways than not, the people that are in the driver's seat of this is the employer. And if they choose not to add any more compensation, then you're at the wrong place. It's time to go. It's time to find something else to do. I don't want you guys to ever be stuck and say, well, we have to do this because they're gonna no. The only thing that's the only thing that stays constant in life is taxes and changes. Everything else, figure out something else and keep it pushing. Picket signs and all,
Mhm.
protesting, unfortunately, especially when it comes to jobs and raises. Oh, we haven't gotten a raise in 3 years. Some employers will be like, you better be glad you got a job.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something really goofy that happened a few
Listen,
years ago.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it because the world, like the economic situations and the industries are not sugarcoating nothing. You see how many people are getting laid off right now? You think Google and Facebook and all these companies that have made their fortune in the last 15 to 20 years in the information space. that hired all these people that have turned the IT industry on its head. They're laying people off now.
You
You,
know,
you,
I
you think they want? Don't you think they want to protest? But guess what they're doing? You know what those people that are being laid off are doing? Fixing their resume and sending it out to new employers
yeah,
so they can
I
get
don't
hired
I
somewhere
don't
else,
worry about them.
or freelance, start doing their own thing because they're at a level where if they really do it strategically, they can handle their responsibilities. It's a mindset thing at the end of the day. Protesting is not going to get you where you want to be. I'm sorry. It may
Now, as
work
far
10% of the time, but most of the time, mm-mm.
okay, I want to move on from that because that wasn't really the point of our conversation.
Okay.
Now, how can an employee tell the difference between abuse of power versus a quiet promotion? Are they one and the same?
No.
Okay.
Abuse of power can go all kind of ways. Depends on what's on the table and what's being discussed and what's being done and what's not being done. Abuse of
Mhm.
power could be mixed in with constructive dismissal or the quiet
Oh.
firing stuff where
Mhm.
they throw work at them and don't care how don't and decrease the timelines and when it gets done or ignore them when they need help. That's a lot of abuse of power can happen in that dynamic. So
Got
abuse
you.
of power is not just in one area. It could happen in all areas of a particular
Mhm.
job or a particular working relationship, so to speak, whether it be with leadership
Mhm.
or other coworkers that may have the power to delegate different duties and things of that nature. So abuse of power
Okay.
could be in a lot of different areas versus
Yeah, it sounds like they need a guide with this because I
yeah.
think a lot of people there's so many nuances here that I think
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but this is partially why some people get laid off because honestly, the understanding how to navigate a lot of times is kind of hard. And people sometimes do trip up and say the wrong thing or
And some
respond by
people don't
not working effectively anymore, kind of thing.
and some people don't exercise their common sense in the workplace.
That part.
Well, some folks will have common sense at all. Let's not go there, please.
Girl,
Let's not go there tonight. We could talk about
listen.
that all night. But at the end of the day, um layoffs are happening whether we like it or not. In a lot of IT companies, including Google, including Salesforce, the other ones last year that started off the trend. Two
Mhm.
major ones. Car. What was it? What? Not CarMax. What's the other one?
Carvana.
Carvana. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Letting them folk go on over Zoom. All kinds of stuff. At the end of the day, I don't care how great of an employee you are or you think you are. If they can figure out a way to let you go, save the money they're paying you, and still get what they need to get done,
Mhm.
and it helps their bottom line, there's some leaders that are going to make that decision, and there's nothing you can do about it other than take your box, keep it pushing, and look for the next opportunity.
Mhm.
We have no
Mhm.
control over that because we're not the ones making the decisions. The only decision that you're in control of is the one you make for your own economic life, which is why I always tell you guys the difference between a person that has a business or the person that has a job. The person that has a job only has one client. The person that has a business has more than one client.
Mhm.
Now you package up your services, you can have a business, build a system around it, read books like E-Myth Revisited so you can learn how to build a system and keep it pushing.
I totally just did a segment on my in my business course about the E-Myth Revisited and
I'm
how I came
re-listening
across
to
that
it.
book. Yep.
I'm listening to that book again because Coming down the pike is some other sectors of the Mentor Shelly brand. And
Mhm.
that is definitely going to be structured from that premise. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, we have to systematize everything. McDonald's is not McDonald's without the system. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what makes McDonald's great.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
what makes Chick-fil-A great. They have a great system. They just so happen to have some good food too, but their system works.
Is it ever acceptable to decline more work?
Of course.
Is there a tactful way to do it?
Yes. I respectfully decline. Or let me consider this. This there may be some other priorities or there's other priorities that are in my life that does not accommodate that.
Mhm.
You could always say no tactfully, and no is a complete sentence too. No.
And if we felt that we were being retaliated against because of that, would do you think that we would ha well, I guess it's case by case, wouldn't it? It would be case by case to
If
really
if
know.
you feel some real retaliation there, you can prove it. Mm. EEOC, I have to report XYZ.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or quiet quit until you find something else.
And I thought that that was so interesting because 'cause we're quiet quitting now, and I think we all Imma speak for myself. I am double-minded in that way because I sometimes do like to just do enough to get it done, and then also I like to be busy and I like to be overworked. So, I think in our society, we do actually have a bit of double mindedness going on because we, on one hand, treasure and boast about being busy. And so I'm a boss and I do this and I do that. And we're always talking about how we work so hard and we're making so much money at our corporate jobs.
Uh-uh,
But then we quiet quit at the same time. How does that work?
uh-uh,
How
uh-uh,
does that work?
uh-uh. Let's fix that up. Let's
Like
fix
how?
let's fix that up. You want to, if you're going to quiet quit, right?
Mhm.
Do what is required of you. Please, let's make sure we get that definition now, because we've had conversations where they take that and take it out of context and make it what they want it to be.
True.
And if you're going to be overworked for the dreams and ambitions that you have for yourself.
Mhm.
Because guess who's not going to do it for you?
My boss.
Thank you. You know what your boss is trying to do? Figure out how they can quiet quit and still get paid too. Because guess what? Their paychecks are getting signed just like yours.
That is very true. Very true.
Who
Um,
you okay? You have a mindset. You want to have business number 1, 2, 3, and 4 paying you, right? You want that to be
mhm,
paying. You want your multiple streams, because if you listen to anything that people like, I'm gonna call some YouTubers names that I listen to, Glendon Cameron. If you listen
mhm,
to
mhm,
Erica Williams, if you listen to
mhm,
MTG Mortgage Guy, there's so many.
mhm,
JT Hustles, or JT, he calls himself something different now.
mm,
But he's put out several books, several programs about having multiple streams. You have to put the
mhm.
energy, time that it takes to develop those streams. They don't start off passive. You can't get a job everything, because when they let you go, what you have? You are in the business of you,
Okay.
guys.
So what I hear you
You
saying is it's probably more advantageous to work on your own pursuits instead of giving more of your non-renewable source, which is your time, to your employer. That can take you or
if
leave you.
you're if you're in a career that you love, right? If you
Mhm,
are a scuba diver and you love scuba diving, and you can scuba dive to the level where you can scuba dive at the Olympic level, go for it. Okay? If you are at the level where you're so talented and you so love it, it can be monetized on some level, go for it. I'm not saying don't go for your career, but always keep in mind that if you have other dreams, other ambitions, and you want to be able to truly live and be wise and be economically sound, money can't only come from one place. It can't only come from one place. So that's why I'm saying I'm not encouraging anybody to quiet quit. What I'm encouraging you to do is handle your business outside of the job. That's what I'm encouraging.
Just wanted to give you the floor there. I think another thing, if any employers are listening or future employers of America, I also think that they need to look into Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 rule. Because honestly, if you give people less time to get a task done, they're going to get it done. Because I know for myself, and this really does tie into what we're talking about. So just rock with me, because I think that when you're asking people to take on more, if you ask me to take on more, you need to give me a 4-day work week, or you need to let me work 6 or 7 hours a day instead of 8, 9, or 10. That's what you need to do. There's a trade off there, because if I know that there's pressure on me, this is just how I think. When I have more pressure, I perform better because I know there's a deadline.
That's beautiful. I'm going to add that pressure to myself. I don't want nobody dictating that pressure.
But I think that would help a lot of companies. And if they, gave a hybrid model option to somebody that they're going to try to give more to, it's like they have to work with you, because they may not want
They
to give you more
should. A lot of
compensation.
companies don't because they don't care that much. Ooh, did I say it out loud?
You
Hello,
sure
Mr.
did.
Nixon. How you doing, Mr. Nixon? He said hello, so I'm saying hello.
Hey, but I was thinking about that, because I think that that's an effective alternative. Because if I was asked to do more, but you gave me 1 day to work from home, I may consider that, because that gives me more time. I save 2 hours not commuting. I'm more relaxed. I'm in my own home environment, right? To
You know
me,
how
that
I feel
actually could
about
be
that.
fair.
I'm all for. I used to work for an employer that every other, instead of it being a weekly thing, they were doing every other week. Other people were getting weekly work from home days, and I was getting every other week because it
Mm,
took me damn near 2 hours in traffic to get there one way.
mhm.
Yeah, I could say 4 hours a day, but it was every other week.
Man,
Needless to say, yeah, we'll talk about that. We talk about the rest of that offline.
right?
Needless to say, they got more work out of me
Hmm.
when when I worked from home. But the
Hmm.
perception, oh, we're not there to watch you. We're not there to see what you're doing, but you can see what I'm doing.
Hmm.
You can check the system to see what I'm doing because everything that was done in that specific system had timestamp marks everywhere.
Mm.
But because the mindset of that particular leader, a lot of times it's all in who you report to. Because the mindset of that particular leader, I was in that particular role for about 3 years. One and a half of those years, I reported to a completely different leader, completely different results.
Hmm.
When I reported to the one leader,
Oh, girl, I thought you
let's just say
froze.
it wasn't a great experience, and the worst was always assumed.
I'm just looking at an article right now. It says literally these all the
The
workers are
worst was
saying it.
always assumed because I was always looked at because I am not. If you work in a certain part of the country and you're not a specific culture, the worst was always assumed about you, and the nitpicking was increased by 2,000%. And
Can
it's
you
not
say that any more concisely?
and
What you're trying to say?
and it's not who you think either. Yeah. Now, no, I'm in HR long enough to know I can't say the names or specify any kind of culture.
You can't motion. You can't do one of these. Can't do one of
I
these. I'll do it for you.
no, 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 no.
This
But
color.
you'd be surprised. You'd be
This color.
surprised. That's why I said I am keeping it
I think she means this color, guys.
to protect the innocent and the guilty.
Versus
Listen,
and some of
no,
this.
no, that, no, 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 darling. It is not that. It's not that simple, and unfortunately, it's not that simple. He says so quiet. Oh, let me see. What did Big Daddy say? So quiet promotions can be more harm than good to an individual, especially if upper management doesn't realize that they're doing extra work. Just the middle manager. Yes and no. It depends on the situation because if they're having those conversations with folks, and it's oh, Mr. Nixon, you better say it. You better say it. You better say that. Yeah. Big Daddy, it just depends. If you're approached with that quiet promotion conversation, make sure you ask for more money up front, or at least more flexibility. Get something, not deal. A lot outside of just the skills. Get something, but you got to ask for it because they're not going to offer it to you right away.
And they're not going to expect you to counter. That's the thing. They're going to spoon feed it to you and they're going to
Yeah.
expect you to say yes.
Come on, come on. I got some more work for you. Come on and try to sell it to you like it's hot bread when it's really sand.
But that's why I wanted to have you on tonight because I think that sometimes we're very narrow sighted. We're short sighted and we think, oh, it's my job. Okay, the natural progression, take more responsibility and then eventually get promoted. But it's no, you do your job, apply for the position when it becomes available, and then you get promoted. There is no test run. There's no trial run, especially if that wasn't part of your original
There
contract
are
with
some
them.
situations that it can happen that way if they have leaders and an organization that operates from a fair place.
Mm-hmm.
They're few and far between, but there are organizations that do operate from an integral place. If you have leaders that operate from an integral place,
Mm-hmm. I'm
but
always skeptical now. So
you know what? You're probably safer being skeptical than not being skeptical. But at the end of the day, you have to know the organization you're in. First of all, you also have to know: do you really want to do this? You got to look at all your options. And depending on the company you're working for, then the options might be clear, and the options might be so cloudy that Ronald McDonald could walk through that cloud and you can't see him. So it just depends. It's not a cut and dry one time statement. Look at the situation you're in.
mm-hmm.
If you're working with leadership that is fair, I would say go right ahead and ask for that money up front. If you're working with leadership that you know they're gonna BS you, you can respectfully decline, or you can just say, I'm just going to do this for X amount of time so I can use these skills to get another job. Get something.
Yeah. So I guess it really does depend on the situation because those are three totally different solutions that we came up with. One, negotiate and try to say, hey, if I'm not getting more pay, then I want XYZ because, I will be more productive working from home or whatever, let me off an hour early. They have to give you something. Just having you work on the false promise, because it is a false promise until it happens. And I should just say it's pending. because nothing is set in stone until it happens. So you always have to have a healthy dose of skepticism, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing, negotiate. And then obviously ask for more money. If they say no, then negotiate, some kind of flexibility in the job. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third thing is take on the responsibility, but add that crap to your resume. Be on your merry way in 6 months or less if you can, because now you got the skills. Okay. We have to be as strategic as these multi-million dollar companies are. Really, that's what I hear you saying this entire time. And like I said, I had to channel my inner employee when I was in that situation, because they will insult you guys. Like, they literally, like I said, they told me no for that job. They said, hey, we'll put you on a plan. And then they hired somebody from outside the organization nobody even heard of. I was like, okay, y'all messing with me now. I
No,
gave
they
them a
didn't mess
7-day
with you. They
notice.
straight up slapped you in the face with that okey. That wasn't even a slight we make. No, that was a straight slap in the face. Like,
Yeah,
we
because
can do
sometimes they'll know they see no future for you, and they'll just string you along. They'll do that, and they can do it with a smile. So that's why I think it's really wise, and hopefully you can chime in on this. I think it's wise that we don't rely on just our internal internal HR department. Don't rely on just your boss to get you where you need to go. We're in an age now where you have to supplement your knowledge and supplement the advice you get. This is probably not even a question that some of you should ask for advice for from your mother or your father. You may actually have to hire a professional like Mentor Shelly to actually guide you through this and show you some areas that may not be so clear to you, or give you a different perspective, right?
right.
Because this is your landscape, this is your domain. You know how these people think behind those closed doors and in those board meetings. You know exactly what those people do,
As a matter of fact,
right?
um, I made a comment on a video, not my video, maybe like a year or two ago. They're saying that, oh, HR is not there to help you; they're there to help the employer. In a matter of speaking, yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
are.
not that's never been a secret.
And I don't
But
think it's bad.
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But because are so people on the internet, this is 2023. People want an outlet to pretty much be mad at something. There was this particular person commenting, well, that's why I hate all HR, and that's why y'all are the scum of the earth, and that's why you're this, and that's why you're that, and everybody in HR needs to burn, and I'm like,
Really, sir?
sir, I said, you know what, you have a good day, because I'm not about to sit up here and go back and forth with you. Keep in mind, I made this comment on this one specific video 2 years ago,
Mm.
and somebody has an axe to grind because apparently something happened with him, and his HR person did not help him. He said the HR person hurt his chances and he got fired. And it's a whole. And I'm like, every so often I'll see comments pop up on that one comment. So that's
Mhm.
also the power of, you never know who's going to see what you say. So be careful what you put out on the internet. That's one. And two, yes, I am a part of a profession where human capital, human resources is the subject of the day, or the part of the organization that I help to manage. But that does not mean I tolerate the human capital or the human experience or the human resources for it to be exploited, because I don't want nobody exploiting me. So I would not ever dare encourage an organization to exploit their employees. That's illegal.
Mhm.
There are 300 plus employment laws that employers have to be compliant with. That's also what HR helps them to do, to keep them out of trouble by encouraging them to do the right thing all the time, not when they feel like it. And that becomes advantageous to the employees. Because if you're going to treat one employee this way, you have to treat them all this way.
We have a question here. I'm not sure if he's referring to his previous statement and then
I
asking
think
a
he's referring
question.
to his previous statement. And here's what I'm going to say about that. When it comes to projections and a specific set of people, you're in control of your own economy, whether it's tied to a job or not. So if you choose to buy into that, so be it. That's not going to be mine. But if that's what you choose to focus on, be my guest. In the workforce, it's going to be reflected like it's always been reflected.
Mhm.
Even when people were in slavery, it was never at zero. Because as soon as they were let go, or as soon as slavery was over, they left with all the labor, and they also left with the economic means to support themselves. So we're not in that age. Not to say that things cannot happen or things are not being done systematically to work against people, us, but we're also not going to focus on what awful things a murderer is going to do if they catch you at the wrong place at the wrong time. Nobody would ever do
I'm gonna
anything
remove
positive.
myself because you reading him right now. So I'm gonna go.
You cannot sit there and focus on what projections anybody else put out there for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Those projections are what people are using to generate more hate towards a specific people. They're using projections. I don't know if you've ever heard of the birth dearth. And there are a lot of people from the Caucasian group that are very afraid that they're going to be, not be the majority in X number of years. And that causes a lot of fear. And that fear is also generating a lot more hate and a lot more. Because if the focus is on what may happen or who's making these projections, where is it coming from? Yes, there may be statistics to back it up, but do you have to put yourself or anybody that you love in that category when there's so many opportunities to make that statement false? What we focus on expands. What we
I
don't,
second that.
because I have 20 years of experience in something. I can also package that and offer that as a service for a specific fee, not just to one employer, not just to one organization, but to 10, to 20, however much my own company can handle. That potentially increases my own personal economy under my company name. So if that's the focus, and if that is the mindset, then statistics like these, I'm not saying they're irrelevant, but what does it really bring to the conversation? Does it bring ways for us to get out of that situation? Or is it focusing on something that somebody wants to come to pass? There's a lot of people that are supposed to be dead that are alive because they beat the odds. There's a lot of people that I've watched interviews where they took unconventional means. Cancer was supposed to take them out of here, and they decided to put some biblical principles to the test and won. They're here to tell you the story. So what you focus on expands. So if that's the mindset, if that's what you want to focus and expand on, be my guest, sir.
I know, sir, you in the wrong live stream, but this is an opportunity to get corrected, or not even corrected, but just give you a whole different point of
Perspective.
view. Because because why would you believe that? And yeah, let's just go there real quick. If I believe the statistics, I am probably going to be single until I'm 90. I don't believe that, because if black net worth or whatever is supposed to be zero by 2050, you're essentially telling me, a small business owner, you could look us up. You're telling me, and you're also telling mentor Shelly, who has her own thing going on as well. You're telling both of us that what we're doing is futile. You're literally telling us we need to just go lay down and die right now. That's what you're telling us. If you believe that, and you didn't know, and I'm going to say it because I need to say this now, you didn't know that that's what you were saying by giving into that statistic and putting that on the screen. You're literally putting that out into the atmosphere. How are we supposed to respond to that? How are the other people in the chat right now that actually are here to get knowledge, how are they supposed to take that? You're telling them that they're doing all of this for no reason. And I'm not trying to be like a butthead or anything, but I think that sometimes we say things before we truly think about the effect and the energy that we're putting out there. And that is why I'm glad that mentor Shelly said what she just said right now. Because no, I'm not buying what you're selling. And the other thing is, when it comes to I can't say that word. When it comes to, no, I
Statistics.
swear, girl, if you ever want to have me shut up when you tell me off, tell me to say statistics. Game
It's
over, fight
okay.
over. Okay, I'm going home. But
Everybody has their word, girl. It's okay.
no, girl. But when you say, okay, if you give me some statistics, my first question is, who are you talking about? Because I'm not those people. Who are you talking about? Who actually checked the box on that survey? Who was it?
You also
That's what
have
I
to
want to
be
know.
mindful. You also have to be mindful that you can get statistics to be placed. Of course, really
Thank
hope
you
you
for
don't believe
clarifying. Because
it.
because we're not
Please,
coming down on you. I'm just saying that
no.
there are
Yeah,
people that really believe
people
what he said, though.
they put all kinds of stuff out there. That don't mean it doesn't make it. You he see and the source. Consider the source.
Exactly. And look what he's trying to do. But you got to think about it, Mark Daly. You should come on
Consider the
right now.
source. The
But think
source
about
that explains a lot.
exactly. And this is one thing, and I didn't want to go here, but I'm gonna go here.
Oh
Y'all be needed
Lord.
to understand, when there's these other groups. Okay, Andrew Yang works for the system, with or without the universal income, which is going to put us all in poverty. Just so you know, it's like, yeah, if they offer that, I'm not taking it. I want money from my business. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking it,
Well,
because then I'm going to be on somebody's chow line. Okay. But here's
there's
the thing:
yeah.
Andrew works on one side of the system that is part of the same big monster. Okay. It's just his turn. That's it. Okay. I don't trust any of them. I don't believe any of them. They're all full of crap. Okay.
Mhm.
Remember, every single one of them that slept in that White House bed, they're all about the same crap. Okay. They're just on different sides of the spectrum. So I don't want to hear Andrew Yang is for the people. You need to hear what Andrew Yang's people say about us. How about that? Really talk to somebody that'll be honest with you.
Which is why you
They'll
have
tell you how they feel about us for real. And then
the,
you'll see why Andrew Yang believes what Andrew Yang believes.
and it's fine. They
Let
can
me
have
stop, girl. Raise my
listen.
little blood pressure.
People can have their opinions. People can have their statistics.
Yes, and you can
But
do that
what?
here, Mark. I'm just messing with you. You
Yeah,
can do that here.
yeah.
It's okay.
What people can have their statistics. People can have their yeah, exactly. People can have their statistics. Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Good.
it's all in what you do and the
Yes,
actions you take to
that's
make
true.
sure your personal economy is where you want it to be. Point blank, end of period. And we're in a country that we can have the freedom to do that. And this here internet that we're on is making it possible for all kinds of people. So at the
They
end of the
trying to cut us
day,
off right now. Shoot.
he can have his opinions and he can have his whatevers, but he'll be fine. where he is, if he wants to be a part of a system that does all this stuff. I mean, that's why I said systems work, but you got to know how to work the system too.
Hmm?
We can all set
Just
up
be out
systems.
for yourself first. That's all.
Yeah, you
Protect
can.
your own interests first, you know? That's
Exactly.
it. Cause and that's another thing. And I'm gonna just say this about black wealth, and then I'm gonna hit y'all with one more fact that y'all didn't know before we close it out here. But
Hmm.
um another reason that that wealth thing is gonna happen, and I'm gonna tell you for sure, and I know because I know he's probably not here, he's probably doing something else. But Diamond Dave, I know he will agree with me on this.
Hmm.
Our color complexion tends to be the most educated in this country. However, we're also the most single. We have the most broken families. We have the most people that go in to these jobs, overwork themselves, and are underpaid. Okay. So it's not really the system that's doing this to us. There is some of this that we have to take responsibility for ourselves. Okay. Because you should not be the most educated group in America and be set to be at zero net worth in 2050. That does not mean that the system's doing that to us. That is us doing that to us on some level. Okay? Because there's too many groups out here that
Personal
are that
responsibility.
is too many groups
Personal.
that are insulated and they getting stuff done.
Yeah.
We
We
got to
have to
stop
take those.
asking for handouts, y'all. We got to
We,
stop.
well, it's no, it's not even about the handouts. I never picked up that from what was said.
No, I don't
I
think
just
that's what he
think you
said. I'm
have
talking
to.
about other people.
Oh,
People,
okay.
people in general.
Okay, I just think at the end of the day, you have to take personal responsibility for your own economy. And if it starts off with a job, then it starts off with a job. There's nothing wrong with a job. There's nothing wrong with working a job. Just know that that's not the only way. And that in order for you to have multiple streams, the job may be what helps you to get those other streams. So let's not be ridiculous or anything like that. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate his input because he really got me to want to say touch on something I really wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
And this is why we're changing the direction of the channel. I'm not just going to talk about credit because these things need to be said. And I know sometimes it's not going to be right to bring you on here and have this conversation because I have my own opinions about things and they're very
Right.
strong. And if you rock with me, you rock with me, right? Professionally, hire me, whatever is fine. But that's what I'm saying. These are the things that we need to think about though. It's like, yes, because this quiet promotion does affect certain groups of people. And I'm going to be honest, it's going to affect women a lot more than men. I don't care about the color. It's going to affect women more because we're in the workforce more than men are. Number one. Number two, we take on more just naturally. We're not talking about firefighters and physical jobs, but in these jobs, there are more women in HR than there are men. You know this. You know this, right? So it would behoove us, and we are the people that have the babies for our group. So my thing is this: if we're not listening to what Mark said as far as looking at the statistic, at least, okay, cool. But now we need to backtrack and we need to come up with a solution, and we need to, like I said, get people to stop consulting maybe themselves. Don't consult your buddies. You need to consult somebody that is somewhere that you want to be when situations like this come up, because we are overworked and getting quiet promoted, while on the back end we did the work to get the job we have. We went to school, we
I'm
have the student loan debt, right?
I'm
So why am I not being compensated, but I'm being
I was
asked to
getting
do
ready to
more?
say I don't consider anything promotion wise if ain't no money or ain't no money or extra perks involved.
No, we like that symbolic stuff. And I have a live coming up about that. We like symbolic victories, and we got to stop that, y'all. Just because you're in the position, it don't mean nothing if you can't pay your bills. If your health is messed up because you're overworked, just because you want to be in that position.
Personal economy.
Yes, and our mental health is going to suffer too, y'all. So this is deeper than a quiet promotion. There's more. So I'm glad Mark tapped on that because yes, this is a bigger issue than,
Yeah, and we
you
can,
know,
you know, you and I separately and together can definitely revisit that on different
Sure.
spectrums from a different perspective, but you wanted to continue? You had
Oh,
a
yeah. So this is the last thing. I want you guys to not be afraid, because whenever you're given some crazy, sensational information in the news, just know that you got to dig a little deeper to really see what's happening. Now, we know Amazon, Meta, all the big companies are the ones doing the layoffs. But if you do just a simple Google search, there were 585,000 tech companies in 2021. At the end of 2021, 585,000 companies. But the news wants us, you, me, everybody to focus on 5 major companies. I don't know anybody that even works for those companies.
hold up. Oh, no, wait. Press pause. Do you not realize a lot of these people that are getting laid off, especially in the IT sector,
Mm,
it's not staying home. They're not staying home per se, because a lot of them work remotely anyway.
mm-hmm,
If they know how to put themselves together, or they have the skills that other companies that are not in the news cycle so often want,
mm-hmm,
they are not. They're going to get another job very quickly because their skills are in demand.
mm-hmm,
Erica has a Tech Tuesday, right? Erica Williams has a Tech Tuesday. Dr. Dix, who's in a different part of the IT sector, she talks to. I think she talked. There's a couple of like regular IT people that have resources, paid
mm-hmm,
resources, of course, where you can enter that sector because those skills are in very high demand.
mm-hmm.
So for all those folks that you hear are getting, Mr. Elon Musk with his foolishness going on Twitter, um, the the Facebook, and the Amazon, and the whatever Salesforce. It's a bunch of companies, because I'm actually going to do an overview on that. For all
Mm-hmm.
those folks that are in the tech sector, they're getting terminated, or they're getting fired, they're getting right sized, laid off, whatever you want to call it, whatever fancy word for fired is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm old school. It's a fancy word for fired.
Yeah.
There are 10 other LLCs that are being bought to create more companies. They're companies that we've never heard of, as you just stated, that are
Yep.
hiring this top talent. Some of those same people are going to create their own, become freelancers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always, as a person that I'm actually working on a layoff, when life brings you lemons, make lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing a layoff workshop in another what, say, a couple of weeks or so. If you guys definitely are interested in it, or if you know somebody that just got laid off and they definitely need help in that area as far as how to recover from that successfully, you can go to
Mm-hmm.
mentorshelly.com/contact, put your information in there, and what is this, put that up there for me, because I wanted to make sure that you guys know that I do have a workshop coming up to help whoever is either experiencing the layoff, or is feeling the brunt of the layoff. And you can put layoff help in the comment section of that. Okay. I will have a workshop coming up for those who message me. You can get that workshop for half off, but it's only a certain amount, and it's only going to be up for a certain period of time. If you move quick, you can get that discount. Otherwise, it's going to go to the original price afterwards. So make sure, guys, at the end of the day, if you're being quiet promoted, it's me or Mrs. Doe said something about not doing that again. What happened? I want to make sure that.
Yeah. Let me go back. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
going to go back. I just want to, I'm actually going to put your site. Is your site ready? Should we put it online or?
No. Go ahead and
Okay.
just put the contact for now because I want.
Right.
I'm working on it behind the scenes because I definitely want to help those folks that are getting laid off. There's a lot of them that are getting jobs pretty quickly because their skills are in high demand.
Yeah. Let's just resist the urge, y'all, to go with the sensational headlines.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Do
saying? Yeah.
do your own research.
Y'all, a simple Google search, I found out 585,000 companies, and we're worried about 4 or 5 or even 10. Anyway, there's the comment.
I will never do that again. I trained my supervisor and manager back in the day. Do you know how many of us have had that experience working with the trauma, working with them? What trauma? Of course, it traumatized. It would traumatize me too.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you the job, but you get to now. You're getting paid more than me. You get the leadership autonomy over me, and I taught you how to do your job. Ugh. Mind blown. I was the only one with a degree too, but wasn't quite. They did you dirty. They did you dirty. Ain't go. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
I hope you don't still work there. Please run away,
Yeah. Do
run
you still work
away.
there, Mrs.
Hopefully
Doe? Do you
not.
still work there?
So yeah, I hope you told
Because
them
obviously
get
we
rid.
don't know where you work, but you know.
Yeah, hopefully you don't work
Um,
there. Mark Daly, we really do appreciate your contribution tonight. That definitely
yeah, definitely.
took that. It's a lot of that is mindset, and people want to be tied to a particular system or want to be tied to having people think on that mindset because you will find people all day that in the last few weeks this is kind of going off topic, but I'm using it to share the example. You have
Mhm.
people that are familiar, if you guys are familiar with the manosphere and the passport bros, and they recently got exposed by some other women in other countries, and how some of them now there's certain countries they're no longer able to go to because of the activities going on and
Mhm.
because of the focus. Ex- oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna touch on that, Miss Doe. Trust me. And the focus has always been on, because American women don't give them what they're looking for, so they went looking for it elsewhere. At the end of the day, the problem with that whole situation, you're focusing on the people or the women that didn't give you what you wanted. You're focusing on not becoming a better person, but focusing on when I don't get what I want, I'm going to throw a tantrum and go to people that give me what I want, even at the price of your integrity, even at the price of this, or even at the price of that. So the premise of that is they focus on, well, these three people didn't give me what I wanted. So people that look like them, I'm going to use the three people I have the experience with and say, well, everybody in that sector is bad. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get what I want for a cheaper price. And in essence, completely ignoring what's going on inside, what's going on mentally, what's going on with them as an individual. So the focus of those groups tend to overshadow what the real purpose of it is. And the energy and the negative connotations that come with that really boils down to self hate. So if you focus on the wrong thing, don't ever expect to get the right result. If you focus on getting this money, okay, then you're going to get this money. Whether it's with the job, with your side hustle, with your online hustle, with the system, the business systems that those books help. We mentioned the book earlier, E-Myth Revisited talks about. That is definitely a great book if you're interested in business systems and how great business systems are developed and the mindset behind that. That is definitely a great book to check out. I'm I'm rereading that book, just to strengthen my system building knowledge, building great business systems that truly help to create a great experience for their customers. Yes, E-Myth Revisited. I have it on audio. There it goes. It is a great book. Um, I always want you guys to become a better professional. And in doing so, doesn't always necessarily mean just having the great job and the great career. It also means that you create better opportunities, not just for yourselves, but for your clients or for your future employees. Guys, at the end of the day, we're about economic independence. So whether it's through you were here having conversation about having having the virtual assistance business, that's a lot of ways where women that wanted to, not just women though, but in that industry, a majority of a majority of people that are in that sector are women that they didn't want to go back to the corporate or the job after maybe having a child. They use skills they have, packaged it either by hours or by tasks that they can do for businesses that businesses needed and didn't want to hire somebody full time. They package those services for a fee. The virtual assistant business has exploded, especially in the last 10 years.
Especially if you're like one of the people in this book. If you're a technician, you
Aha.
are not a very good manager. And a
Yep.
manager, which is one of the personalities here, actually
Mhm.
has to hire people. The manager does systems, so the technician actually has to hire a manager, and a virtual assistant can be that for you as an entrepreneur. I'm gonna have to really dig into this some other day, but I did it, like I said, I did a whole segment in my
Mhm.
business course about this book. So
Yeah,
um virtual
I'm
assisting.
re-listening to mine. So because I come from an HR background and I'm into systems anyway.
I need what she does. I need that. Because
Hmm.
I'm a technician. I'm not the entertainment. Okay, at least I don't like putting it together. I want to talk. I
But
need you
you're
to put it
so
together for me.
good at it. Yes. So at the end of the
But that's an
day,
awesome.
see,
That's
you
awesome.
guys, if you see, here you go, guys. This is also another opportunity. If you have a business that you really either are already starting to do social media exposure with, or you want to establish the brand with social media management, here we have me or Mrs. Doe that provides that service. So go
Hmm.
ahead and make sure you guys copy her handle. Listen, I'm all for promoting and truly living in your own economy. So this is a great example of that. She didn't wait for them. The employers was doing her dirty, so she did her own thing, and she's doing good. See, she's doing social media management now.
She saw the writing on the wall, man, and that
Hello,
that's what you're supposed to do. That's
like
what's up.
peace and hair grease. I'm out. So
Yep, that's
at the
that's so
end,
true. I mean,
we got to create. We have to do what we need to do to create our own economy, whether it's with a job or with a side hustle. Or yes, I've been in HR for 20 years, but I'm also a mobile notary, right? That's just that I've been a mobile notary for about off and on for about 3-4 years in different states. You see what I'm saying? I like it. We definitely are helping people out here. I definitely want to get into the business system side of it. So exactly, there you go, me and Mrs. Doe. So if you guys are looking for that type of service, it's here. You can't just do
I was just
one
gonna
thing.
say, Mrs. Doe, I'm gonna need to hit you up. So if you have contact information that you
There
don't
you
mind
go,
sharing, you should drop that in the chat.
Mrs. Doe. I'm
I would
actually
like to
gonna
talk to you.
I'd actually need to speak with you on my channel. If you don't mind, hit me up at my contact and just it goes directly to me. So you
Are
can go
you
to
at Mentor Shelly?
yeah, Mentor Shelly for mentorshelly.com/contact. Mr. Dunn, if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask you for a little interview, ma'am, if you don't mind, because that is definitely an industry that I do want to give some attention to, especially in 2023, because it's providing so much freedom to so many of us out here, men and women alike. So, guys, we made some very fruitful and very commendable connections tonight, not just with the subject matter, but with people. Because at the end of the day, folks, we're people. We're people that want life to be better. We're people that want to make our economics better. We're people that want to make our careers better, whatever direction our career takes. And, yes, you can take on opportunities when they want to quiet promote you. But sometimes that quiet promotion is a slap in the face because they want to pay you less for doing more. So you always have to be mindful. If you are going to do it, how's it going to benefit me? And are they going to pay me more money? And if it's not more money, it's going to be some more flexibility. What you doing? So that's my 2 cents on that. That was my little closing statement. Go ahead. The solutionist experience, go ahead and tie it up for us.
Well, actually, I guess our tea smell good. Oh, hey, you changed your name. Isn't that Goldie smell good? I see you, sir. See, we all changing our names out here. So yeah, y'all, this is the year of rebranding yourself. Even if you don't have an audience, you honestly need to rebrand yourself. I mean, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. That's gonna be the name of the game. And it's okay to reach out to other people to get guidance on what you need because, some of us are going in circles because we literally haven't reached out to the right people or found the right resources. So, there's nothing wrong with getting yourself a career coach. If you're going to be in the job market, if you're going to be an employee, nothing wrong with that. But you need to have something, you need to have a weapon in your arsenal that is something that only you know about and only you can tap into that can really get you to where you want to go, in these next few years. Because the career and the employment landscape
Changing.
is looking really shaky, y'all. um you know and a lot of us are just trying to keep up and trying to recalibrate as we go. So don't get complacent. There's nothing wrong with getting a coach. We all need one. Even
Mhm.
coaches have coaches. So
Yep.
yeah, I think
Yep.
that was it. So Mentor Shelly, other than your layoff
Mhm.
special that you have coming up, is there anything else coming down the pike? Any trainings, any courses, any books?
Yes. I have a comprehensive career service program that is going to be coming. That's going to be even bigger, where I go through from soup to nuts. If you have no idea what you're doing with your life, all the way to all the way to you're established in your career or you're established in your business. It could go either way because a career doesn't necessarily mean where it's tied to a specific job. It could be tied to a business. I can help you to do either one.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely going to be way more comprehensive. The workshop is also going to help if you're looking to make that transition either into another industry or into starting a business. That's also going to be explored in the layoff workshop as well. So definitely, guys, if you are interested in that, go ahead and hit me up at mentorshelly.com/contact saying, I want the layoff help. And we will definitely get started with that. There will be things coming down the pike, more involved on my channel, on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever I broadcast from. So you'll be hearing more about that in 2023. And of
Can we
course,
find you on TikTok now? Are you on TikTok?
yep,
Mentor Shelly, yes?
yes, yep,
All right.
yes. Mentor Shelly is on TikTok. Not on there as much as I need to be, but that is a change in a very soon. Okay.
We
So
hope so.
yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. Of course, we'll hand it over to you. The solutionist experience. I love that.
Yes, y'all. And okay, let me just clarify before we get off. I am still the credit solutionist, y'all, but the channel is the solutionist experience because really dealing with me, baby, it is an experience. So I'm gonna take you all around the world. I'm gonna take you to outer space, okay? But we always get around to the point. Y'all know that. But yeah, we want to, broaden the content this year. And if YouTube likes it, great. If they don't, who cares? Because it's time to really just we want to focus on more, just more topics. There's credit is great, but you guys, there's more going on. I want to teach you how to use the credit and when you get it, like how to expand, right? Because we don't want black wealth to be at zero by 2050. So I can't just keep telling you how to do credit card applications, all right, guys? Like that's just not how it works. So we're not going to do that as
Yep.
much anymore, but it'll still be there. So just be on the lookout, guys. We're rebranding. Rebrand your life too. It's totally fine. Why
You
not?
know.
Right? You only get one
Yeah.
life, guys. So just do it. And who cares what other people think? Let's go ahead and just close out with these comments. I think we're all done. We don't have any questions. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, Mentor Shelly, I want to keep in contact. I want to keep in touch when you launch your products. I would love to have you back on
Yes.
to give you the floor to talk about whatever you need to talk about to get the word out there. Because, hey, the solutionist experience, I got to get used to saying it, y'all. We in there for 2023. So, la, la,
That's
la,
right.
the solutionist experience. I got you. All right.
Good night, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night and get in touch with Mentor Shelly. And also, you can still reach me over at fixmyficonow.com or mycreditcall.com if you need to talk to me directly. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Credit Solutionist and Mentor Shelly out.
All right. Bye, guys.